For the school board meeting, we will begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody this evening. Just a couple of reminders, we do have registration to address the board on any actual items on our agenda this evening. Anyone who would like to address the board, there are forms up near Attorney Elwood, I believe. Just fill the form out and return it to the board table. Doesn't see the forms, but we'll get them to you. That's on actionable items. We also have public comment at the conclusion of our meeting. Anyone on any topic they would like to discuss with the board, you're welcome to come up. The same process, fill out the form and return it to the board table. All board members were provided background information to the items on the agenda in preparation for this evening's meeting. Our meeting is being live streamed, and as always, we welcome those who are viewing us remotely. So we'll begin our meeting. We do not have any student staff presentations. Are there any adjustments to the agenda from the board? Anyone like to move anything around? If not, we'll move on to our superintendent's consent agenda, which has got the personnel report for January the 27th, our donation report and claims report, as well as facility use request report. We have a motion to approve the superintendent's consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve the superintendent's consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Okay, now we have our board's consent agenda, which has got our minutes from the reorganization and discussion meeting of January 13th, 2025. You have a motion to approve the board's consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call roll, please.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on now to board development. Are there any committee reports this evening?
So the redevelopment committee met last Thursday, which was January the 23rd. And during this meeting, the election of officers took place. Mayor Austin Bonta will again serve as the president. Penny Amber, the vice president. Secretary Greg Locke. The appointments of consultants and staff were also appointed and approved. The resolution number 2501 was discussed and presented. This resolution is for the issuance of a bond for fire and safety, public safety, in the amount not to exceed $3 million. This action would be included plan in order to order equipment, which would be a fire engine. That would include the city funding and reimbursing the RDC. The plan is to order it now because it would take probably 2, 3, or 4 years for that fire engine then to be delivered and all that. So that's what's going on with that. Again, we're going to have quarterly study sessions. They're going to be scheduled to learn about the tax abatement, allocation review, existing development projects, and the budget. One of the locations will include our high school, and that will be tentatively scheduled for June the 19th. The 2025 Community Quarterly Magazine by the Chamber was also discussed at this RDC meeting. The plan is to pay for 2 to 3 pages as they realize the importance of the community receiving information, valuable information with our Portage residents. And in 2026, the plan is for each department then to pay for their own page to promote their department. On Monday at February the 3rd at 5 o'clock, a special meeting will take place since we need to review the 2025 budget The regular RDC meeting is scheduled for Thursday, and that will be February the 27th at 4:30 at City Hall. And as I mentioned in the past, all residents are invited to attend, and it is also live streamed. I have also provided all of you with a copy of the Educational and Worker Training Grant Program. The application is located in the back, and there's additional information. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or to the RDC, and I'll be happy to answer that. The application is due April the 15th. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Are there any other board reports?
I attended the Portage Township Educational Foundation meeting on January 14th, and that committee is full steam ahead for their annual fundraiser with the Harlem Wizards, which will be held on February 20th at Portage High School. And ticket sales are available online, and they are working, our committee, on sponsorship and donations and visits by the team to visit the schools and stir up the kids and let them kind of know what's happening. So we will be meeting every week for the next 4 weeks until that event happens. So that will be an exciting event, as always, on the 20th. And then also, applications are now open for PTS staff and employees who would like to apply for grants from this organization, and those will be open until March 1st.
Thank you. Any other reports? Very good, thank you. We move on to old business. We have the acceptance of the Jewel settlement allocation.
So this
How would
is,
you-
yeah, so this is a settlement of, Jewel, if you remember, we signed up for a class action lawsuit that's being handled by attorneys around the country. We were contacted by a local attorney, Scott Yanover, local being Chicago, to sign up, and then we get distributions annually. I reviewed the original contract and the distribution that you're approving, hopefully, and it is consistent.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the Jewel settlement allocation?
Make a motion to accept the dual settlement allocation.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Anyone have any questions?
I just have to make, I'd like to make a comment that, Jewel was, they use social media, and to appeal young people and perpetuate ideas that, and promote and normalize nicotine use. So, you know, it's hurt a lot of our young people as well as adults, but, I appreciate the efforts of our attorney to, work on this, and
Thank you.
really appreciate that.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move on to new business. We have the approval of resolution R2-2025, transfer of appropriations resolution.
So this the transfers are minimal, but there was a small education fund for a refund and 3 in operations for the food service department debt payoff to cover expenses in community relations related to our ECA stipends and personnel benefits. So you have attached the document for this transfer of appropriations at the end of 2024.
And the amount being transferred, $158,146.40.
Correct.
Do you have a motion to approve the resolution R2-2025, transfer of appropriations?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion, questions? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes. Next, we have the acceptance of the FFY '24 Title IV grant funds.
So the Department of Education approved for the Title IV grant in the amount of $124,663.38. Of this amount, a total of $8,449.05 is budgeted for our 3 local non-public schools as part of our required equitable service provision for title grants. This portion of the grant was written to support several initiatives, including student analytics, which is our Performance Matters, intervention software, MindPlay, and Fast Forward, online science of reading support for our teachers and students, Heggerty Phonemic Awareness, computer science software, which is Tinker, and our social emotional learning initiatives, which include life skills, habitudes, and No Place for Hate.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the Title IV grant funds? As read.
Make a motion to accept the Title IV grant funds as read.
I'll second.
The motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes.
Next, we have our approval of contracts and service agreements. This one would be for ISBA for Board Doc software license for the 2024-25 school year, at a cost of $2,700. For curriculum through the School Classroom AI software license for the period of February 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2025 at a cost of $2,000. And for the marketing department through SMORE for a digital school newsletter software license for the period of February 22nd, 2025 to February 21st, 2026 in the amount of $2,620. Do we have a motion to approve these contract service agreements?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
The motion is second. Any discussion? Questions? Call roll, please.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Next, item 804, the consensus to advertise for fuel bids. Dr. Allen, explain.
So yes, per our policy 6320, the purchasing agent must seek bids for purchasing items or services exceeding $150,000. Our current bid contract with Petroleum Traders Corp. for no lead gasoline and diesel fuel will expire on March 31st, 2025. So I'm seeking the approval to advertise for bids to purchase no lead gasoline and diesel fuel. The contract term for the new bid would be April 1st of 25 to March 31st of 26. Section E contract of our bid packet states we may renew the contract by 12-month periods if both parties agree.
Do a motion to approve the advertisement for fuel bids.
I make a motion to approve to advertise for fuel bids.
Second?
Do a motion and a second. Any discussion? And I'm assuming these follow the same procedure as always. Attorney Elwood, these will come to your office.
Yes. And then I'll bring them to the bid opening meeting.
Very good, thank you. Any other questions? Can you call roll, please?
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Now we have the approval to advertise for E-rate services.
So with our commitment to continue enhancing the district's infrastructure through E-rate funding, we're now in the 7th and final year of comprehensive rebuild of the district's network infrastructure. This marks the conclusion of the current E-rate funding cycle, with the remaining funds allocated to upgrading the last of the older power supplies. These upgrades are essential to support the increasing demand for reliable connectivity across the district. Dan Rice from AdTech, our E-rate consulting firm, has filed our E-rate FCC Form 470, and this is essential for our notification to everyone that we're looking for bids. Our timeline is as follows. Questions are to be emailed to Dan Rice and copied to Matt Melton no later than 10 a.m. January 31st. And bids are due to Attorney Elwood, copied to Dan Rice by 10 a.m. on February 18th.
Thank you. Do you have a motion to approve the E-rate service, advertise for E-rate services?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
The motion is second. Any discussion?
What I learned is that discounts range from 20 to 90% based on the poverty level of the schools. So do we have any idea of what kind of discount we would get based on
I have numbers for you off the top of my head, but I don't want to speak inaccurately, so I can get that to you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Next, we have our approval to increase in rates for education, law, and policy work.
So, as you may recall, Kroger Gardis and Regas LLP, this is who we utilize with the firm where attorney Seamus Boyce works in Indianapolis, and we work very closely with him in our educational lobbying efforts. The rate for our education law and policy work has increased to $335 per hour, and this is a rate increase for the year of 2025.
Okay, do you have a motion to approve the rate increase for the education, law, and policy work?
I'll make a motion to approve the increased rates for education law and policy work.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions?
My question is, I know it's $335 an hour. How much was, what's the increase amount? More than?
I'm sorry, the increase amount, I may need to get that to you as well.
Okay. I know that's kind of the going rate,
Right.
$350.
Yes, I will make sure to get that to you.
Any other
Thank you.
questions?
Mhm.
Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes. And lastly, under new business, we have the approval of settlement of litigation. Do you have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Ramian?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes.
Okay, we'll move on to superintendent comments. Dr. Elenes.
Just a couple updates for you. First of all, I had the opportunity to meet with Mile Mavrovich, who is our Buildings and Grounds Director, and Nick, who is our Chief Financial Officer. Dr. Stevens and I have worked collaboratively alongside these two gentlemen to determine the capital projects that were the approved plan by the board for 2025. It's just exciting to share some of those things that we're creating some opportunities for the district, working with some professional services, and seeing how to, first of all, explore our first solar endeavor to see how we can save on those utilities. So we will be, at a future date, requesting a meeting with the Buildings and Grounds Committee to explore some of that alongside all of you. Dr. Stevens, Nick, and I also, along with Mile, at one point went and visited Hebron, where they have some different opportunities that they're capitalizing on. So it's an exciting time to explore that. Also, we have the budget that was approved for elementary fencing. This is something that will be an effort across the district that we're expanding, or beginning, and will continue to expand upon, for fencing around our playgrounds, just as an additional measure for safety and security for our students. Also, looking at some other opportunities for the plumbing fixtures, to include sinks and other plumbing fixtures, as those things just also get dated, and we're looking to make improvements in those arenas as well. I'm excited as the bid opening took place today at 2 p.m., and I know Attorney Elwood will have some additional information for us in an upcoming board meeting regarding the turf for the baseball and softball complex. So we're moving along with some really great projects and exciting things on the horizon. Additionally, a policy meeting, we will get that in working order. Cindy and I have continued to work through some policy that we're ready to have another update, and that information will be finalizing so that we can have our virtual meeting, and I appreciate the committee members for continuing your efforts with that. Also, I'm going to send information to the board regarding the upcoming State House Day, if anyone is interested. I myself am looking to attend that day, and if anyone else is interested, I will share that information with you. And the last item I have is that we are scheduled for February 10th, following our regular meeting, to have our board development opportunity alongside Dr. Jim Halleck, who is a retired superintendent and public educator for 50 years. And he's also been a teacher, principal, amongst various other things in his career. And he will be meeting with us as we obviously value professional development, and he will facilitate. Again, that will be following immediately our February 10th meeting.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I was on that call with Jim Halleck, and we're gonna love this guy. He's good, he gets it, he's got a lot of experience, so, not that he's coming in to fix anything, but it's just, it's a good refresher for us on board governance and board and superintendent relationships and all those type of subjects, and the questionnaire did go out today.
They'll complete it.
The idea of that is maybe to save ourselves some time, if we could get anybody has any questions about some things, we can get those to him in advance, so he can kind of tailor, that retreat, along those lines, so, that's great. As far as legislative day, the ISBA did request the board president and legislative liaison attend that.
Okay.
So, Trustee Wilkie and myself are both registered for
Perfect.
that. It's my first time going to that, I'm looking forward to it, and I know you've done it a couple of times, so,
You learn a lot.
yeah, so.
Interesting, very interesting.
We're both looking forward to that. Does anybody else have any questions or anything for the superintendent at this time? I don't believe we received any public comment forms unless it came some things from staff, but if you got any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We'll do that.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Call roll, please.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Maleta?
Yes.
Trustee Wilkie, yes. Trustee Ramian?
Yes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.